Oklahoma County grand jury approved for jail trust, pardon parole board. So David Prater, the district attorney for Oklahoma County, has asked and received permission from a judge to impanel a grand jury to examine, at minimum, the operation of the Oklahoma County Jail and the state's pardon and parole board. Yeah, shout out to Nondoc for writing a very good, well-researched story. It gets all the details. It gives you context. It is extremely easy to follow and well-written. My complaint, though, is call other people than just the powerful people that you have access to, like state's chief of communications or David Prater or other dumbasses that care about this stuff. I mean, I guess they did ask the pardon and parole board, who again are like completely under attack. So of course they've got to say stuff like, well, we think we're following the law. Don't look too hard. Because they're terrified because Prater's going on a witch hunt. Like, go call an advocacy group that will tell you fucking Prater is going on a witch hunt. But here's my take. And I tweeted it, did all right. Go check that out if you care. But David Prater is the single human most responsible for the disaster at the Oklahoma County Jail. At any point...
I'm sorry for interrupting. Go. Criminal offense. If he's concerned about the deplorable conditions of the Oklahoma County Jail, he can go downstairs right the fuck now and say, anybody who's in jail for these offenses, do a review of them and their criminal records, and we're going to assess whether or not we can motion for a PR bond from the state, nonetheless. Motion from a PR bond from the state to the judges and let out hundreds of people right now. Yep. If that was a concern, he can go do that right the fuck now.
He's the guy in the hot dog suit meme. I mean, it's like, we're looking for the people responsible for this. Like, motherfuckers, you. Like, you are responsible for this. The horrible conditions in jail is you.
I'll say, as someone who regularly argues to have people's bonds reduced, I'm not aware of any time where the state has said, yeah, fine, reduce the bond. We don't have any objections to this PR. There was a guy who was fucking in and spent over a year in jail this year. And they continuously objected to him getting a bond. And I think his son died while he was in jail. Like, they could very well get a list of people for a list of offenses they deem fine and submit motions to the judge, petitioning for a PR bond from the state, nonetheless. And he could assign ADAs to do that right now, and could potentially let out hundreds of people if this was a concern. And that the thing that you could best do to help the Oklahoma County Detention Center become less deplorable is let people out. He has that in his power to do, and he's not doing it. So anything he says about concerns about Oklahoma County Jail is 100% disingenuous, and you should view it as such.
Yep. And unfortunately, this article doesn't say that anywhere in this. It just dutifully reports Prater's bullshit propaganda, and it's like he's, and of course the judge that approved the request is Ray Elliott, who's also terrible and was considering running for DA at one point.
And his wife is the DA who prosecuted, or who's leading the charge against Julius Jones. No.
Sandra
Sandra Howe Elliott is Ray Elliott's wife. She is involved through the DA's office. I'm not sure if she prosecuted the case on the front end, but she is currently involved from the DA office in murdering Julius Jones.
So anyway, I mean, these guys are, and where's that context? Damn it. If we can figure this out by just Googling around, it's fucking, and just put that in there that, that maybe these guys' intentions aren't pure and honorable. And again, David Prater is fucking responsible for all of this. He is the most powerful person in the Oklahoma County criminal justice or criminal legal system. At any point, he can make any of these problems infinitely better than they are now. And instead, he's doing this dumb shit. So anyway, it just frustrates me because Nondoc does such good reporting, and it's so well reported. It's just, call somebody else, man. Like
Same
get
problem with national media, right? Like sometimes they do like great jobs, they just don't. I don't know if they want to maintain access or what, but it's just like, especially with like Supreme Court reporting, it's just like, yeah, I get all that, but like, just say it. It's a fucking political institution, and they're acting like
yeah.
fucking like, just say like, while he says that he feels this way or he wants to take actions, he could very well have taken X actions to fix these conditions long ago and can still do so today.
And I tweeted this, and I may have been like slightly inaccurate, but they also bring up the Lawrence Anderson case, which is a story that didn't make nearly as much news as it should have, where he got his sentence commuted. They let him out, and then he killed 3 people. But they're arguing that he was put on there by mistake, and I don't know who did those lists. Like, I mean, and I'm not positive what docket he was on, so maybe I should have been a little more careful about tweeting this. But like, the big commutation docket that did the big like let out 200 and some people, which I think Anderson was on there. Most of that legwork was done by like law students in Tulsa and nonprofit people and like volunteers. Like it wasn't done by like state staff. Yeah, like and like that's fine. Like, you know, like I'm not knocking their research, you know, God knows, like fucking DOC, half their records are on paper anyway, so it's like, you know, who knows what they were working with. But the idea that the DAs, especially, I mean, it was only 200 cases. Like, I don't know how hard it would be statewide. So it's like, I don't know how hard it would be to split up amongst the 27 or however many DA offices and say, hey, go through 4 of these and just make sure that we aren't letting somebody out we shouldn't. Instead of like helping the process and being like kind of this arbiter of incarceration, I think they just were like, we're not going to do anything because we're pissy about this. And so this guy gets let out that maybe shouldn't have been.
DAs view their job as viewed as one thing, to lock motherfuckers up, and full stop. And if you want to keep a motherfucker locked up, then maybe they answer your phone call. But that's how they view their jobs. Every DA's office in America, even the quote unquote liberal or progressive ones, they view their job as to lock motherfuckers up, full stop.
But it's just like, so now they're investigating this and saying that like, well, you know, maybe there's a problem in the process, and how did, you know, faced with the potential error, like OSBI is investigating, and a second inmate that ended up on the commutation list after recent denials. But again, like, I don't blame the brand new process that might have even been done by volunteers to try and fix a massive problem that Oklahoma has, which is being the '1 incarcerator on the planet. I don't blame them for making a mistake. I blame the fucking DAs for not reviewing it. I mean, if you're the lock motherfuckers up crowd, like maybe you should check their work and be like, hey, time out on this one. Like, you know, we don't agree with any of this, but these 2 especially, we think you made a mistake. And they didn't do it. Like, I mean, so again, I ultimately think the responsibility falls to the DAs. Like, if that's going to be your thing, I don't know. I think this article, like, it makes it sound like other people that should have been held accountable instead of, like, the actual people that should have been held accountable. And it's turning into a political thing because now it's like, you know, the blowback, it's the Willie Horton effect, right? I mean, like, now this Anderson guy got out and hurt someone or killed someone, you know, now it's like, we can't let anybody out. And it's like, well, no, that's not the lesson we should learn. We should just do a little better on our vetting. And honestly, this guy, if you really read the articles about the murder, it just sounds like he desperately needed support and help and services afterwards that he did not get. Like, the murder could have been avoided if he had had adequate mental health treatment and other stuff. So anyway, yeah, the article doesn't really go into any of that. It doesn't put the blame, I feel like, where it kind of should be, but it's got everyone kind of covering their asses, which is not a great way to do things and kind of why we end up with some of our bad systems. Thanks for watching our video. Please give it a like and hit that subscribe button for more content. If you want to engage with us, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram.